Yo, Amanda Seales is done with y'all. The Griot and other black publications that have remarked on her. Well, we know Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales is an actress and comedian. She has been on shows such as Insecure and My Brother and Me back in the day. So she's kind of always been around somewhere. She's a comedian now. She does stand-up and all this stuff. But Amanda Seales has been getting a lot of heat because she mentioned that she wasn't invited to certain Black Hollywood events, right? And she was kind of feeling some kind of way about it. The response that she got was overwhelming. And for any other person but Amanda, it would have stopped them in their tracks and had them rethinking things. Not Amanda. So the latest development is that all the stuff had died down. And then the Griot and 3 or 4 publications came out with stories about Amanda Seales. And boy, when the word got back to Amanda, she wanted to let y'all know a few things. She wanted to give y'all a piece of her mind.
Okay, honestly, I've had enough. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Really? 3 pieces. 3 from 3 people I have never met in my life.
If you don't see, the title of the Griot article is Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris. They had a need to get that off. That was pressing news this week.
From 3 publications that are supposed to be about uplifting black people, which is all I have dedicated my life to doing. Shit! What hubris do I have? You people literally cannot stand that someone has studied and is speaking on what they study, that someone has read and is speaking on what they read. You can't stand that someone loves us, that someone loves us so much that their passion is so exemplary and is exuding through the phone that it touches people who literally have never felt love that much and they don't know how to process it. That's what you're feeling. I want to send all the love to everyone who has shown me love. But you people who are continuing to attempt to break me down, you will not break me. You cannot break me. I am loved. I am anointed. I am touched. I am working through the blood of our ancestors. You will not break me. And it is so sad that you are so broken that this is the effort that you would take to try and get some clout. And you know what? Let's say I did get broken. Y'all will be the first ones to be like, see, y'all be doing too much. No, big up to all my strong black women who are supporting other strong black women and every other person supporting us. We love you. The rest of y'all can suck up. Okay, honestly.
Yo, it's just crazy that, I don't know. Yeah, realistically, like, this should not upset you this much, Amanda. I'm just being honest with you. It's not funny. It's not funny because the fact that Amanda Luther King here, Amanda X is going off because she has been sacrificing her life for the black community, y'all. And she wants you to know that through I guess her social media presence is the thing that's really doing it. And who is mad enough to zoom in and out with their thumb like that? Like, this is technique. I gotta give her props for that. She's going off with her thumb and zooming in and out, and you know the cuts are perfect. She's tearing up. Let me just be honest. Amanda's going through some things, y'all. Amanda's going through some things since the end of Insecure, which I thought she did an excellent job on as Tiffany Dubois. I think here's the thing. I think that was the best rehab for Amanda's image in the first place, was playing the Tiffany Dubois role. It's kind of like Whitley Gilbert, you know what I'm saying? It was an interesting character, but it was not Amanda. And I think a lot of people that maybe weren't familiar with Amanda actually thought that some of that character, you know, being together, being, kind of prim and proper, was who this actress was. It happens to the best of us, man. As actors, like, sometimes you get associated with a specific role, and then that is your typecasting or whatever throughout. Amanda has had this online persona. She's got over, 2 million? I think she's got 2 million Instagram followers. Give it up for her. 2 million Instagram followers isn't a small feat. But we got to be honest, like, don't let that get to your head, man. A lot of this social media stuff is very, very presentational. You don't know why those people are following you necessarily. They might be looking for your downfall. And see, I might I'm not gonna be as petty as some of those articles were, because they were like, you know what? Let me go and put this hubris on Amanda, this hubris jacket. But you know, in life, in the spotlight of some sort, like it comes with its own hazards. You know, things that can stop you in your tracks. And this, in particular, Amanda's kind of outsized ego. Let's just say it. Because she really thinks she is more of a revolutionary than I think she really is, you know, and that is kind of the disconnect. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she has been on television in some way, shape, or form since she was 8 years old. If you watch the Nickelodeon documentary, you know, it's a lot of trauma that comes into that. Amanda was on a Nickelodeon show. And so I think that child star label kind of makes it hard for somebody to mature into adulthood. And some of the best of them don't seem to be making the transition well, right? You know, some people end up doing well. You know, you think of a Jodie Foster or who else? You know, plenty other, even Rudy from the Huxtables, you know, the Cosby Show. Like people have kind of transitioned into their adult life and they've left that in the past. But sometimes I think there is some type of mental break that comes when, like, once again, she was given the job on Insecure, which was followed by her falling out with some of the cast members at a party, basically. She was not allowed into this Emmy party, and she thought she should be. And nobody really stood up for her. In fact, Sarunas Jackson, he kicked her back in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So she really feels abandoned again in some ways, you know, because there's a big gap between those two. But then she's done all types of stuff. Like, this is my thing, Amanda. As accomplished as you are, right? I'm not going to say you're A-list, but you've done enough things. This chick was actually in Floetry. She was good enough to be one of the replacements in Floetry for a little while. Don't ask me how. She did a couple tour dates, I guess, and it was a wrap when they were breaking up. She was on the radio. She's had her own web series. She's had her own podcast. She has her own game show. Like, all of these things are accomplishments that you would think would make a person happy on the inside. But unfortunately, what happens is you can't put all that together and see that you've accomplished something because you haven't been invited to the NAACP Image Awards, or you haven't been invited to Black Girls Rock, if they still do that. You know, that type of thing. And I think this is where Amanda is kind of disconnecting, because at a certain point in life, you get to a point in this entertainment where it really doesn't matter. You know, all the awards and stuff, that's cool. But really what you should be focused on is the work and putting forth whatever this is, this Amanda Luther King dream that you have. You understand? And so as somebody who's been in it for a while, you know, I can kind of see what's going on with her. And unfortunately, I think she's getting in her way, her own way. She's good for TV, though. I will say her rants and going crazy, going ballistic about stuff like this it's just going to go viral. You know what I mean? Just like her rant did, talking about not being invited to the parties. But let's take a look at what some of the articles said. It was kind of crazy. This one wasn't even that bad. Essence magazine, op-ed. And see, Essence was one of the publications that she was, one of the people she mentioned in her original video. Op-ed, it's time to admit that being liked is more important than being good at your job. That's a valid point, man. Whether we want to admit it or not, likability plays a huge role in our career trajectory. Essence's business editor, Jasmine Brownlee, weighs in on why we need to have a real conversation about it. And then there's a picture of Amanda. She's the poster child of this in this writer's mind. This op-ed does not reflect the views of Essence or Essence Ventures. I think they added that, of course, because, you know, it's the last, they want to get some liability off, you know what I'm saying? I really like Amanda Seales. Her whip-smart eloquence and crisp comedic timing is undeniable. Every time I see her on my phone or silver screen, I find mostly everything she produces to be thoughtful, effortful, and impactful. She's gifted us. These are all compliments. This is what I'm saying. Like, she sifted through all the compliments to get to, why are y'all saying this about me? And she's gifted us with her vulnerability time and time again, making it clear that she aims to leave the world a better than she found it. She's someone who I sit up for when I hear her speaking. That's why it pains me to say this. I can understand why some people really don't like her. Then she goes into a whole section about, about a study from Harvard Business School that says 90% of what sets high performers apart is attributed to emotional intelligence, which correlates strongly with likability. And then she even gets vulnerable and talks about herself. She's throughout my own career, I've had to take a step away from just quality controlling my work, but to also take an inventory on my disposition. This is it. This is key right here, because what Amanda's lacking, and like I said, I think she's working on it, but she's lacking a bit of self-reflection. If this many people are saying one thing to you, could you at least posit the idea that it might be a little bit of validity to this? I know you're studied. You've studied, as you said. Like, you need to stop that too. Like, other people have, advanced degrees, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. It's a thing. But like, this is why I understand now why people say, come on, we got to give celebrity a break. We can't get all our information and political information, moral obligations from celebrities. We can't really depend on them for that. There needs to be another class of people that actually has that as a focus, right? As opposed to a million other things. But she says, I also take inventory on my disposition. Am I agreeable? Is my attitude favorably regarded? Is my presence pleasant? Do people feel like they can trust me with their feelings? And most importantly, if the shoe were on the other foot, would I want to work with me? It may be time for SEALs and others who have similar feelings about being stonewalled in their career to ask the same questions of themselves. While no one can take your talent from you, being liked by your peers can carry you to places your competence never will. Now, why does that article elicit the response that we heard from Amanda? I think this is the problem here, is because there are no, like I say, elder women that have any influence on what a younger woman who is going through something that they have gone through in the past to give wisdom, because the younger woman isn't listening. Amanda's not listening to what anybody says because she thinks she knows it all because she studied. But unfortunately, they talk about intelligence, but then there's also emotional intelligence, Amanda. And you need to really try to get your emotional intelligence in line with what the rest of the world is thinking, just so you can go with the flow a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And not feel like you doing everything for the community and they not doing anything for you. And then the Griot, their article said, Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything. And mind you, these two articles came out, let's see, the second, when did this one go? I don't think this one. Oh, March 24th, which was a little prior, and April 2nd. This one came out April 2nd. Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris. Amanda Seales recently complained about not being supported by Black media or invited into Black spaces, and she seemingly does not understand why people don't rock with her. But I think, shocking title aside, I think this writer actually gives Amanda some sound advice here. You know what I'm saying? This is written by Monique Judge. Two Black publications recently published articles about her. Both were simply calling for her to do the work of self-analysis and self-inventory to see if any of the things she is openly complaining about, not being invited to Black spaces and not being supported by Black media, could be a reflection of her own personal actions. And basically they're saying she's framed these articles as they're hit pieces against her, and she wholeheartedly disagrees with that. We cannot be so fragile as to not want to be called out on our own bullshit. Take a note. Take some criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that Amanda's not willing to do. Amanda Seales is very vocal with her opinions. She makes sure everyone hears them. It comes with the territory of having a large platform. What also comes along with the large platform is the recognition that not everyone is going to agree with you. And instead of trying to play victim when this happens, Taking the opportunity to either clarify or course correct would be the better option. But ego is a hell of a drug, and ego is where Amanda Seales is stuck. Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris until she recognizes that. She is always going to be crying every time anyone says anything about her. Well, she just dropped the mic on that one. This is what I'm saying. This is advice. This is not an attack. You've got people that wanted to help women that are being criticized as if they were attacking women. Everything's been skewed because the listener didn't want to hear. And so unfortunately, I think we all need to do a little bit more listening instead of responding and reacting out of emotion. But I want to know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you would like to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. This is Faucette Media.